He got, I will say this, I kind of knew what was going to happen with the Gustav thing. Gustav, who is very famous over on MLC as one of their big super chatters. I don't call him pay pigs. I think that's kind of demeaning. He's a big super chatter, big contributor to that show. I knew he was going to get chastised hard. I knew he was going to get his fucking balls busted by that community. Like, why are you giving that fucking guy money? And I knew it was going to end with him going, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. And someone sent me a screenshot today of him in the MLC chat going, it was just one time. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going back. And I was like, yeah, that's... I'll be honest, I thought it was going to happen to him on Friday. I'm surprised that he held out until Monday. But the new rule, Gustav wants us, he gave us a lot of advice. Aaron, don't read any chats under 199. That was one of Gustav's rules. And then Gustav also said for a certain amount of money, you should make your chat members only. So I said, all right, $100 comes in. We'll go members only. And we crossed the Gustav line this morning. I, of course, hope we cross the Gustav line tonight. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. Matt's kind of got some wild shit going on right now. As a matter of fact, I would say that his appearances might be a little more sporadic. He might, his appearances might be a little here and there based on what's going on. As you know, Matt has his own job. Matt has his own life with that. As always, just like when we brought Matt back, the door is always open to Matt. And we'll let him talk about it a little more when he gets here tonight. But yeah, Matt's schedule is going crazy right now. And just like Johnny with his medical stuff, my thing is always, look, if you can't make it, I'm not going to be mad that you can't make it. Just tell me in advance and I'll put on a solo show and we'll rock, man. It'll be good. Funeral director with $2 says, my lost interest calls you a grifter in his latest vid. I know, that was really disappointing. I like my lost interest. He called the Gustav line bit a grift. It's not really a grift. I'm not misrepresenting anything. I'm just doing a fun thing. I think if you hate Steel Toe, you're going to hate Steel Toe regardless. It's kind of weird because Steel Toe hate is a funny thing. It causes you to shift the goalposts, move them. And people are like, well, we don't like the begging. You get kind of miserable and depressing. And I'm like, well, let's be happy and positive then. And let's encourage people to give. And if we knock it out, we knock it out. If we don't knock it out, we'll figure out a way to keep this bitch going, right? And then, so we're like, okay, we solved that problem. And then we're like, well, we don't want to ask for money so much. So let's give the audience something for what they give. It's like, here's a fun thing. A lot of the YouTube audience hates the chat. Let's make it members only. And then if people want to hate our guts in the chat, they got to pay us $5 a month or $3 a month, whatever the fuck it is, to hate us. Okay, cool. We do that. And then my lost interest goes, look at that grift. It's like, well, either I'm a dirty beggar, or if we don't have to do dirty begging anymore, which we didn't this morning, or really for the last week, well, then we're grifting. And it's just like, come on, man. You got to be a little more intellectually honest than that. But then again, I feel like a retard saying stuff like that, because then I go, dude, it's the fucking internet. Of course they're not going to be. My Negroes with $2 simply says, nice tits. Thanks, buddy. Dustin with $1.99 says, don't worry. Nobody is saying, oh my God, where's Matt? Thank you. Nick the Milkman's with $5 says, any comment on Cheese going on with Will and talking some shit? Cheese has been talking shit about this show for a long time now. Still cool when he comes in here, which is fine, but I think he's got internet friends now, and they give him more attention when he talks shit about Aaron, naturally, because talking shit about Aaron is a good way to get on some people's good side. So I don't blame Cheese. Cheese has called me about it. Like, I've called him out for it before, and he's called me and, talked to me, and he's like, I swear I'm not. I'm like, dude, we know. Like, the night at the boxing gym, we know you were kind of, you and Staska were, little dual allegiances there. And then, one day he went on someone's show and he's like, oh, yeah, well, I can say a lot of shit about him. And I'm like, could you? Like, you listen to the show and you've come to our live events. What could you really say about me? So yeah, I like cheese, and I know what cheese is doing, so it's fine. I don't know. It's okay with me. XJX99 says, did you talk to the therapist about how Nick is still so in love with you that he stalks your chat? This is probably going to hurt Nick's feelings. I do not talk about Nick with my therapist. I don't really... And we'll get to this when I address this morning. I don't really have any thoughts about Nick. It's a person I knew briefly in my past. It caused a lot of pain and suffering in my family, as did my terrible decisions when I was around this person. I do regret getting involved, but then again, I don't, because it got me a lot of great things. Like I have a lot of really positive, awesome things in my life because that all went so wrong, you know? It might have got me away from other toxic people and brought me back to my family, and has certainly made me, you know, watching his miscues have made me a better father and a better partner. And I got into therapy after the whole thing, and that has been a godsend. I recommend it to anyone struggling. So, yeah, I don't think about him. I know that's not reciprocated, but I certainly don't talk to my therapist about it. Funeral director says, my lost interest equals notorious Shuley dick rider. No worries. I don't know. Last time I talked to Shuley, we were cool. He thanked me for what I had said about the ESO thing and the CP stuff. The Shuley and I stuff has never, I don't think it's ever really been like hostile. I think we've made fun of one another before, but I don't really feel one way towards Shuley one way or the other. I figure good luck with his show, and he'll probably say good luck with mine. That's about it. Unfortunately, I know what this morning was. And I know because of not only knowing this person personally, but also observing them since. Something bad happened. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to do the dozens with Nick. Like I said, my life is far better with him never being in it. And so I'm not going to sit here and do the dozens and get into that. That's a losing predicament for me, I think, mentally, psychologically. I don't need to get mixed up in it. It's where it, you know, my relationship with Nick is where it needs to be in the past. So, like I said, I don't harbor ill will. I don't harbor anger, animosity, hostility, anything like that. It's just done with. It's just over, and it's in its proper context. I think you guys have heard me talk about April as well on this show, saying that I really hope she gets out of that toxic situation. Not that it would have been good living with me. I think her and I were very bad for each other in retrospect. But I've said before that I hope she gets out of there, rebuilds her life with her parents in Litchfield, then, you know, licks her wounds, heals, figures out what's going on up here, what caused her to get to this point, and then moves on down the road and builds her own life. I really think she's capable of that. I think at her best, she can be a very smart, resilient woman. I don't think she's at her best in that situation, unfortunately, but she's in the proper context in my life, which is in the past, lessons learned. I like that.